My wide receiver 2 in this draft class is Malik Nabers out of LSU. He's who I've got at number 2. I think it's close to being a 2-dog race there for that number 2 spot. But Malik Nabers, what he possesses is just electricity in a bottle. He is so explosive. He is so sudden. He is lethal after the catch. I saw someone try to say that he wasn't, and I almost choked. He is electricity personified at the wide receiver position. So you're going to have some of the prospect fatigue that sets in with Marvin Harrison Jr. And some people I think are going to want to put Malik Nabers up there, the number 1 spot, just because of how much juice he has. And he is sudden, he is crisp in all phases of the route and after the catch. So he is a very dynamic wide receiver. And I think in pretty much any other draft class, he would be the surefire wide receiver 1, except you're dealing with a true generational wide receiver in Marvin Harrison Jr. I know generational talent gets thrown around a lot. Marvin Harrison Jr. is actually that, so it's not something that I say lightly, but Malik Nabers, pure explosiveness in what he's able to do. He reminds me so much of Odell Beckham Jr. when Odell Beckham Jr. was coming out of LSU and what he did early in his NFL career. I think that he's going to provide an instant spark in the short to intermediate game, as well as being a deep threat for whatever team decides to draft him.
Yeah, this guy is, every time you turn on LSU tape, whether it's to watch, Brian Thomas or Jon and Daniel, you just find your eyes gravitating towards Malik Nabers. And for a guy that is got size, he's got speed, athletic ability, it looks so damn easy. He turns the jets on, and there are quite a few electric speed acceleration players in this draft, and they all possess that 0 to 60. He can do it like he's like a gazelle, like those long strides. He gets up so quickly and more sudden than you expect for his size. So all of what you said is true. I have some of my questions about him just come down to the technical hand usage that he possesses, whether it's concentration drops or getting off of press. How is he going to deal with that? And yes, you're not going to deal with a ton of press in the NFL. It's more about hand usage through the route because you want to consistently hand fight. You're going to have to consistently hand fight, whether it's against zone or man coverage. It doesn't have to be press. You have to kind of know where this DB is trying to make you go and make him move the other way and keep getting your hands off. So that's one of the things that I was, just kind of pointing out to him, or just not to him because I've, talked to Malik Nabers, obviously.
Hey, Malik, here's what I'm thinking.
A couple of things about your game that I want to see you improve upon. Mm-hmm. But the concentration drops.
Damian Parsons?
Yeah, I mean, shout out to our boy Damian over there at the TDN doing fantastic work.
Yep.
But I'd love to see, and honestly, LSU does a really good job of just getting him into space. And he's going to be lethal in space. Understanding the game is where his next level is. I think that's part of the problem with people projecting him over Marvin Harrison Jr. Like, well, he's already this good. He can still get better. Yes, that's very true. He can get better. And being more well-rounded, finding those soft spots in zone, all of those things he can absolutely get better at, and he's going to get better at. And it all comes down to where he lands, because if I'm being honest with you, not a lot of teams focus on improving these wide receivers like we saw Rashee Rice improve this year in Kansas City. That was not something you see a lot of, but the Chiefs kind of used him differently than he had ever been used before. It wasn't really how he had been used at SMU. So it's going to be a little bit of a process. He's going to be making crazy catches, spectacular speed, making guys miss in open space, all that stuff. He's going to be one of the most electric players in the NFL next year. So watch as he grows, watch for some of his release packages that he's going to need to develop, those hand usage things. Once you start seeing those, we're talking about a guy who could be maybe a top 10, top 5 receiver in the NFL.
No doubt. The athleticism is there. The explosiveness is there. What he can give to an offense. He's just a guy you want to get the ball to. Like I said, it's like Odell Beckham Jr. OBJ coming out as a freshman, it's not college, as a rookie and in his second season, he made so much money on slant routes and just his ability to hit those slants, catch it in stride, and just stay at speed and accelerate to full speed within 1 or 2 steps. That's what Malik Nabers can do. It's ironic they're both out of LSU. It's also ironic there's a really good chance that both of them start their careers playing for the Giants. I don't really see much of an avenue where Nabers gets past the Giants at 6. Unless they want to go another route, another wide receiver. But I think you need playmakers in that offense, especially if you are riding with Daniel Jones. If they decide that they're not going to take a quarterback up there towards the top, you need playmakers that can create. And I think that Malik Nabers is that guy that you just get the ball to in quick, easy to dissect, 3-step drops, get the ball out, put it on Nabers and let him go to work. I think he would fit their offense incredibly well.